Hi everyone, my name is Tom. Welcome to the Assault on Doomrock Indiegogo presentation. Assault on Doomrock is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players. It plays in about 2 hours. It is a story about a bunch of ridiculous adventurers venturing into this wilderness to destroy the evil at Mount Doomrock. It is a game about resource management and character development decisions during adventure mode. But most of all, it is about fighting the epic Doomrock battles using impossible skill combinations. This presentation will include 3 videos. In this video, I will talk about the game in general and show you the components of the game and the game setup. In the second video, we'll play through a part of adventure mode of the game, where I will show you the map and the leveling up system. In the final video, I will show you a part of the tactical battles of Assault on Doomrock. My goal with this video is to present a random playthrough where nothing is prepared. Please keep in mind that what is presented here is a handmade digital prototype. It does not reflect the intended high quality of final components. Let's get to the table and get started with the game setup. Okay, let's start off by selecting a hero for each of the players. I will play the game as 2 players. So let's shuffle the hero deck and pick one hero. Okay, we've got the mage, and each of the heroes will receive one of those trait cards. So let's shuffle these as well. And we've got a stinky mage. I don't know why stinky always comes up during presentations. And there are multiple possible combinations. For example, there could be an overly heroic mage or a ridiculously armored mage, impatient mage. We've got an epileptic trait. Each of those traits gives the hero a passive ability as well as an active ability. Okay, so let's pick the abilities for the mage. This is the basic ability deck. It's used only during setup. We are looking for the symbol that matches the mage symbol. So here we go. There's the mage, the maneuver, Ray of Doom, and the spellbook. That's the mage basic abilities. And also, the mage receives one ability from his trait card, which is indicated here. It's the Garlic Breath. Here we go. This is the character card, so to speak. You can see there are little spots for equipment in the corners, so a hero can carry 1 artifact, 1 armor, and 2 weapons, or 1 two-handed weapon. And he receives the number of hit points indicated on his character card, so 6 hit points. And at the start of the game, each hero receives 1 heroism token, which is sort of a powering up thing for the abilities. And 4 dice. Players roll always the number of dice according to the number of ability cards they have. Finally, each hero will receive his character token, which is used only during battles. Okay, I've put the mage aside. Now let's quickly generate the second character. Hero card. Okay, we've got the paladin, and his trait is epileptic. Okay. Ability cards. And his trait ability card is Rainbow Blast. There we go. Of course, he also receives his hit point tokens and his character token and 1 heroism, 4 dice. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the adventure mode for the game. What we need to do is we need to pick one of the encounters from each of the numbers. So I've got 1 number 3, 1 random number 2, and 1 random number 1. These represent the battles the heroes will fight throughout the game. If they can defeat the number 3 encounter at the bottom, they win the game. I'm going to draw a setting card for the current adventure. It provides heroes with additional context to the current quest they have. There's always a global modifier on this card. For example, this card improves the loot results in wilderness areas, which basically means that the loot in wilderness is better as long as this card is in play. The setting card also indicates how much time there is left until the next battle occurs, so I should place 8 time markers near the setting card, and players will use this time, spend this time on the map. If they spend all the time, the next battle occurs. In the upper right corner there's the loot table, and how loot works is basically when a loot is called for, one of the players needs to roll a d6 and compares the results to a table. So in this case, if this was a loot 0, I would receive 2 silver, right? A loot may be modified. For example, the setting card lists battle rewards which players receive after each of the battles. So in this case, players would receive silver, and they would also roll 2 loot plus 2 rolls, which basically means that I need to add 2 to my rolls and check what I get with the modifier. Okay, let's set up the map for the adventure mode. I'm going to pick 3 area cards from the Wilderness deck, 3 town cards, and 3 mountain cards. Also, I'm going to pick one of the Doomrock tiles. What I need to do now is pick one card from each of the stacks and shuffle the remaining stacks together without looking at them. Now I'm going to shuffle the remaining cards and place them on top. Finally, I get to place the Doomrock tile at the bottom of the deck. This is the objective of the game. I'm going to reveal the 4 top cards from the deck, starting from the left. I've got the Dwarven Settlement, the Ancient Vault, and a Monster Den. Now I'm going to place the Hero Position token at the Town card area. This represents the current position of the heroes. Okay, another thing I need to do is place the secret markers on the indicated spots in the upper left corner of the card. So 3 secret markers go over here, 2 over here, and 1 here. Okay, finally I need to populate the shop with items. We've got a shop little location here, and usually by the shop locations there is indicated how many items there are available at this shop. So in this case I need to draw 2 common items and 1 epic item from the epic deck. So 1 epic item and 2 common items. These items are available to purchase in this location, so I'm going to place them underneath the card. Now the setup is complete. The last thing players need to do is to collect gold or silver at the start of the game according to the rulebook. 2 players receive 3 silver at the start of the game, and this is shared silver for the entire party. This concludes the game setup, and this video is coming to an end. Shortly we'll return to in the second video and play the first part of the adventure map. So we'll play the game until the first battle and see how much we can level up the heroes. But before we start playing, let me just point out how variable this game is. It comes together from many different components. The map is completely random. You can see that we've chosen different map tiles from different sets, and the order is different as well. Players can actually look at this deck and see which cards come next, because there will be this journey where players will put the next cards on the right side of the row, and the leftmost card will be eliminated from the game. So there will be this sense of journey towards Doomrock, and some locations will be left behind. I actually shouldn't have revealed the top card, but never mind that. So it's not just the map, but also the enemies. We've chosen a deck of 3 cards for the enemies, and there will be 3 available battles for each of the tiers. And the heroes were generated randomly. There was a random hero with a random trait, which gives a random ability. And during the game, players will level up from this ability deck, which is 48 unique cards. Very, very different abilities in this deck, which will create very interesting heroes. Additionally, players will draw different items throughout the game from the common item deck and the epic item deck, which in every card is unique in the epic item deck. And the items drawn from the epic item deck may affect the players in a major way. And remember that we've drawn a setting card for the current map adventure, which gives you a random modifier. There are 6 available setting cards, which may come into play in different order. So I'm just saying that this game is very variable, and in a sense it's very procedural, I suppose. Also, different events will come into play from the event decks. There's just so much different stuff that can happen, and the setup, I think you can tell by now that it could be completely different every game. One last thing, if players are looking for difficulty, we've got this hardcore challenge deck prepared, which is 10 cards. Players may draw any number of those cards, and those cards will pretty much give the players a handicap, but increase the total points earned at the end of the game. So in a sense, it's an additional global modifier for an entire game, but for players looking for a challenge, they can draw any number of those cards. It's probably impossible to play with 5 or more, but if you'd like to torment yourself, that's the deck you want to use. Perhaps I should give some examples from the hardcore challenge deck. The party, for example, could be very poor negotiators, which damages them as soon as they talk to merchants in shops, or maybe they could be slightly blind, and that reduces their rolls throughout the entire game, loot rolls. Or the beggars, they receive no silver at the start of the game. There's also a card that allows heroes to use only one hand, so they can only equip one-hand weapons and carry nothing else in their right hand. Thank you for watching the introduction. We'll now continue the game in the next video.